Over the years, our profession of recording has changed. Like sometimes we are so thoroughly immersed in the equipment, the technology, and the techniques and sounds of today that we forget that those came from somewhere. Now, back in the day, you know, 50s, 60s, and even 70s, it was more about mic placement, you know, capturing the sound in the room, great players. And then the 80s were somewhat, to my way of thinking, and this is open for interpretation, and please disagree, talk amongst yourselves. 80s were kind of a bit of a transitional period. Synthesizers were coming into their own, drum machines were coming into their own, and it seemed like experimentation was going on a little more. Now, I wasn't recording prior to the mid-80s or so, so I can't speak to that time period. I'm just saying it from my perspective. And of course, you know, I'm prejudiced because I started in the 80s, so to me that was a great time, just like the 2013s is going to be a great time. And in that grand tradition, a sound kind of evolved in the 80s for snare drums where we wanted a particular sound, something in the air. Phil Collins kind of changed the way we thought about snares and the parameters of that. And then drum machines came along. They were a little sterile, so guys started trying to do certain things. Now I'm going to show you the classic technique for snare. Okay, here's my live snare, a little bit of a gate on it, and then here's the bottom end part of that snare. They used to like lots of bottom end in the 80s. So what we did was we would take a signal generator. Here's a signal generator, just a stock one, and we'd set it on a certain frequency, a certain level. But this is actually pink noise. So like it says here, so this is what you would hear if I took the gate off. Now what I've done is I've gated that pink noise with, let's see, bus 47, with the snares. And so every time a snare hits, I get a little bit of pink noise. And then we would add a little bit of reverb. I'm using Dream Verb just to get a little, I'm not quite sure why. I just felt like seeing something purple today. So I added that reverb to the snare sound. Excuse me, I added it just to the pink noise. Why did I spend so much time showing you this? Because another classic technique back then was to do the same exact thing with a snare drum, but instead of adding pink noise, you would tune to a frequency with the signal generator that was in tune with your song. And there's charts that will convert key to frequency. And so then you'd like, I used to like 40, 50 cycles in there, and then we'd add that kind of 808 sounding low end back into the kick drum and gate it the same way. And then there was numerous applications of that. But I was working on this with my friend Dave Huff, and thought I'd share it with you. I think it's kind of cool. All right, guys.